Start whenever you're ready.
Hey guys, we're back, and today I want to do something a little bit different. We tried to shoot this video twice already, but between being on the road and some guy coming past me with like his stereos blasting and like can't use that video because of copyright, because of the music, and then coming in to like, you know, this little park area, couldn't use that because I had to keep having interruptions in the story with like everything that was going on. This is supposed to be a senior park, but you see a bunch of kids running around, and you know, you only can wonder like, what, you know, if this is a senior park, what they're doing in here. But with that being said, I wanted to do something different, and this, you know, and tell you all a little bit of a story today. And this story is not something I just made up off the top of my head. This is something that didn't happen to me, but happened to a very close friend of mine. And he says it's 100% true, and I believe him. And he didn't want to tell this story himself, and he didn't even want his name put out there, so I'm not going to put his name out there because he doesn't. This story takes place when he worked as a prison guard in Moundsville State Prison, and he doesn't think it's right to talk about prison or to do that kind of stuff. So, and he's right. There's no reason to be in prison or to be locked up. So but he's told me a bunch of stories. He worked there for a little while, and he's told me like a bunch of stories. I'm not gonna, maybe not go into all of them, just this one that I've been thinking about, you know. And like I said, he doesn't want his name out there, so I'm not gonna use any names or specific things about anything, just that it happened. It took place in Moundsville State Penitentiary, but I'm not gonna say when and where it happened, only that it was in Moundsville State Penitentiary. But let's get into it. So he was a CO, which is a prison guard, corrections officer. And basically, he was on education patrol that day. And basically, they were having a football game outside. He said he's walking down a dark hallway. And he said these two guys in the hallway basically told him, man, if you didn't have that little radio on your shoulder, we'd beat your ASS, which I don't want to. They said it the actual way, but I don't want to say that on YouTube. And he said, oh, you will? And he grabbed the radio and started calling the code, and they ran off. What them two dudes didn't know is that radio on that particular day didn't work. I mean, it would receive, like, you know, people, but it wouldn't transmit out. So, and the reason why he told me why he never turned the radio in is he figured that if they called for him, he'd still hear and get a hold of him, but they couldn't hear him calling the code. And if them guys would have knew that day would have ended very differently, probably anyway. In prison, you know, you got a lot of guys that talk and a lot of guys, you know, that walk. So
Now I want to interrupt because he's done telling his story. We're down here at Lake Jesse. We shot this video 2 other times. We couldn't upload it. Like you said, the first time, some Spanish guy went by with music playing. That's free. I get a copyright if I use that one on his radio. I don't know if you can get a copyright from somebody's radio blasting or not. That I don't know. But I imagine you could, because YouTube is pretty funky the way they do things. Even though I'm not monetized, I don't know how I could get copyrighted, but because I'm not making no money off these videos anyways. I guess later on, if I monetize, I'll have to go through and make sure there's nothing copyright material on any of them. But anyways, like I was saying, we're down at Lake Jesse, and the second time we got in there, it's supposed to be a senior park, but between all the kids running around the park and people riding little golf carts around, you couldn't hardly get through the park, and U-Haul trucks moving in and out. So we had to end that video early. So it's just the third attempt to try to upload a video for y'all. And today is Saturday, September the 28th.
28th.
28th. It's a little bit at 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
And as I said before,
about 80 degrees. Nice sunshiny day. Go ahead.
And as I said before, you know, this story was told, along with many others, was told to me by a close friend of mine who's very near and dear to me. And so I believe him when he said that it's a true story. But he also says that he doesn't want his name out there or any of it. Like I said, that's why I'm telling it instead of him. And I don't know if we're going to do any more of these stories. Just been thinking about this one because he doesn't like talking about stories and stuff that happened. He worked in the Moundsville State Penitentiary for a little while, and he has a lot of stories, but again, doesn't really want to talk about them, put them out there. But with that, well, I'll like leave that there.
Well, you know, I can understand that, Chuck. There's some things that happen in your life you don't want to put out there for public to examine. I mean, there's just some things that,
And I respect that.
you know, it's just, it's just half the time people wouldn't believe a lot of it anyways, and even if they did, it's retarded. So why put it out there for something like that? I mean, so I respect the guy's opinion on that. I mean,
yeah, well, I mean,
I wouldn't even told the story, but since you told it, you told it.
well, you know, like I said,
There goes the boat up
and
on the lake.
if he says he doesn't want it out there, then we won't even upload it.
I'm gonna upload it because it's third trial. There's a lot of boats out there today. There's one back there. It's old folks' park is going nuts. Way too many young kids in here.
And this is supposed to be a senior park.
They made it rough when we got here a few years back. It's the old folks only. In fact, one other old folks' park, they wouldn't even let me in because my kids were not quite old enough to get in, and they're my caretakers. So this is crazy. And then they moved to this old folks' park, and then I guess they had that 80-20 rule, but you got more young people in here than you do old people, and the young people that's in here is not of a very high caliber.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of them are sitting around getting drunk all the time and everything else. Hard to tell what else they're doing.
Well, with that, we're going to end the video. I hope you enjoyed the story, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't hesitate to leave a like, subscribe, or comment. And we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And
Have a Jesus-filled day.
And also, again, if you like this video or you like videos about reviews and stuff, you know, like I said, hop on over on YouTube to Eccentric Broadcasting Guillotine Cinema, where we do all kind of review videos, you know, and stuff like that. And like my partner said here, have a Jesus-filled day.